Ladies and gentlemen, pain, an inevitable visitor in every life. It doesn't knock politely, it barges in uninvited, upending everything in its path. Yet pain carries within it the seeds of transformation. Tonight, we're not here to escape pain, but to learn how to alchemize it into power, to turn what breaks us into what builds us stronger. Pain is one of life's universal experiences. No one escapes its grasp, yet its presence often feels like an unwelcome guest. But what if we reframed our understanding of pain? What if we saw it not as a barrier, but as a stepping stone, a force that shapes and propels us toward growth? Pain is not merely an adversary. It is a powerful catalyst for transformation, a teacher that challenges and refines us. When pain enters our lives, it disrupts our comfort zones. It forces us to confront parts of ourselves that we may have ignored or buried. In doing so, pain acts as a mirror, reflecting our vulnerabilities, our fears, and our untapped potential. This process, while uncomfortable, is necessary for growth. Just as muscles grow stronger through strain and resistance, our inner strength is forged in the fires of adversity. Growth begins with the acknowledgement of pain. Often we resist it, trying to suppress or escape it, believing that avoiding it will make it disappear. But resistance only prolongs its grip. When we acknowledge pain and accept its presence, we take the first step toward growth. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means recognizing pain as a part of the journey and choosing to learn from it rather than be defined by it. Pain challenges our perceptions and forces us to reevaluate our priorities. It strips away the superficial and highlights what truly matters. In moments of pain, we discover our resilience, our capacity to adapt, and our ability to endure. These discoveries form the foundation of personal growth. Pain teaches us that we are stronger than we realize, capable of weathering storms we never anticipated. Moreover, pain has a way of fostering empathy and connection. When we experience hardship, we become more attuned to the struggles of others. This shared understanding creates a bridge between individuals, reminding us that we are not alone in our experiences. Empathy, born from pain, deepens our relationships and enhances our ability to support others, creating a ripple effect of growth and compassion. Transformation through pain requires intentionality. It's easy to get lost in the hurt, to allow it to consume us, but growth demands that we look beyond the pain to the lessons it offers. Every challenge carries within it a seed of opportunity, a chance to become wiser, stronger, and more aligned with our true selves. The key is to shift our perspective, to ask not, why is this happening to me, but rather, what can I learn from this? Pain also teaches us the value of resilience. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. Pain reminds us that we have the capacity to rise again, to rebuild and reinvent ourselves. Each time we overcome adversity, we become more resilient, better equipped to face future challenges. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain, it's about navigating through it with courage and determination. In addition, pain fosters creativity and innovation. Some of humanity's greatest achievements have emerged from periods of immense struggle. Pain has a way of unlocking parts of our minds and hearts that we didn't know existed. It pushes us to think differently, to seek solutions, and to express ourselves in ways that transform not only our lives, but also the lives of others. Growth through pain also requires patience. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process that demands time, effort, and self-compassion. Along the way, there will be setbacks and moments of doubt. But with perseverance, the growth that pain initiates becomes evident. It's in these moments of progress that we realize pain is not an end point. It's a starting point, a doorway to a better version of ourselves. Finally, pain helps us appreciate joy and fulfillment. Without darkness, we wouldn't recognize light. Without struggle, we wouldn't value ease. Pain deepens our gratitude for life's blessings and enhances our capacity to experience happiness. This duality, the interplay of pain and joy, enriches our lives and reminds us of our humanity. In the end, pain is a catalyst, not a conclusion. It is the soil in which the seeds of growth are planted, nurtured by our willingness to face it head on. By embracing pain as a teacher and allowing it to guide us, we unlock our potential for transformation. Growth is not about avoiding pain, but about using it as fuel for our journey towards self-discovery, resilience, and fulfillment. Through pain, we evolve. We become stronger, more compassionate, and more attuned to our purpose. Pain, when embraced and understood, becomes not a hindrance, but a gift. A powerful force that propels us toward the person we are meant to be. Let us welcome it, learn from it, and let it shape us into individuals capable of thriving even amidst life's most challenging moments. Life is not a series of random events. It's a tapestry woven with moments of joy, struggle, and revelation. Yet how we interpret these moments defines the quality of our lives. The power to shape our experience lies in our perspective, in the narrative we tell ourselves about what happens to us. Reframing the narrative is not about denying reality, but about embracing a mindset that transforms challenges into opportunities, failures into lessons, and uncertainty into potential. Every experience carries a story, but the story's meaning is often dictated by the lens through which we view it. When we encounter adversity, our instinct may be to label it as unfair, overwhelming, or insurmountable. This framing can lock us into a cycle of negativity and disempowerment, robbing us of the ability to see the broader picture. By reframing the narrative, we shift from being victims of circumstance to active participants in our journey. It's not about changing what happened. It's about changing how we interpret and respond to it. Reframing begins with self-awareness. It requires us to pause and examine the automatic thoughts that arise when we face difficulties. Are these thoughts rooted in fear, self-doubt, or past experiences? Are they helping us move forward, or are they holding us back? Awareness of our internal dialogue is the first step toward rewriting the narrative. When we become conscious of the stories we tell ourselves, we gain the power to reshape them into narratives that empower and uplift us. One of the most effective ways to reframe the narrative is to adopt a growth mindset. Instead of viewing challenges as obstacles, we can see them as opportunities for learning and development. This shift doesn't diminish the difficulty of the situation, but rather highlights its potential to teach us something valuable. Every setback becomes a stepping stone, every failure a lesson, and every hardship a chance to grow stronger and more resilient. This perspective allows us to find meaning even in the most trying circumstances. Consider, for example, moments of failure. It's easy to see failure as a reflection of our inadequacies, a sign that we're not good enough. But failure is also a powerful teacher. It shows us what doesn't work, encourages us to try again, and fosters creativity and innovation. Reframing failure as feedback transforms it from a source of shame into a tool for growth. It's not about ignoring the disappointment that comes with failure, but about recognizing its role in our journey towards success. Another essential aspect of reframing the narrative is cultivating gratitude. When life feels overwhelming, focusing on what we lack can amplify feelings of frustration and despair. Gratitude shifts our attention to what we have, reminding us of the abundance in our lives. It's not about ignoring challenges, but about balancing them with an appreciation for the positives. Gratitude reorients our perspective, helping us see the good even amid difficulty and reinforcing a sense of hope and resilience. Reframing also involves embracing uncertainty. The unknown can be intimidating, but it's also a space of limitless possibility. Instead of fearing what we cannot predict or control, we can view uncertainty as an invitation to explore, create, and grow. Life's unpredictability can lead to unexpected opportunities and experiences that enrich our lives in ways we couldn't have imagined. By shifting our narrative from one of fear to one of curiosity, we open ourselves to new horizons. Furthermore, reframing requires us to let go of rigid expectations. When we cling to a specific outcome or timeline, we set ourselves up for disappointment if things don't go as planned. By adopting a more flexible mindset, we can appreciate the journey rather than fixating solely on the destination. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we envision, but that doesn't mean it's any less meaningful. Reframing allows us to see detours as part of the adventure, enriching our experience and broadening our perspective. The process of reframing isn't about denying the reality of pain, struggle, or loss. It's about choosing how we respond to those experiences. It's about finding the silver lining, even in the darkest clouds, and recognizing that our narrative is not static. It evolves as we grow and learn. Reframing empowers us to take control of our story, to be the author rather than a passive observer. In reframing the narrative, we reclaim our agency. We acknowledge that while we may not have control over every circumstance, we have control over how we perceive and respond to them. This mindset shift transforms our relationship with life's challenges, enabling us to approach them with strength, resilience, and optimism. By rewriting our story, we not only change how we experience the present, but also shape a future filled with possibility and purpose. Ultimately, reframing the narrative is a practice of empowerment. It reminds us that we are more than the sum of our circumstances, that our worth is not determined by external events, but by how we choose to interpret and grow from them. It's an ongoing journey of self-discovery and transformation, one that leads us closer to a life of authenticity, fulfillment, and inner peace. Emotions are one of the most powerful forces within us. They are not merely feelings we experience. They are energy in motion, an unstoppable current that can propel us forward or pull us back, depending on how we harness them. While emotions can often feel overwhelming or uncontrollable, the key to transforming them into a source of power lies in understanding, channeling, and directing them. To harness emotion as energy is to turn one of life's most dynamic and complex aspects into a tool for growth, progress, and fulfillment. The first step in using emotion as a source of energy is to embrace it fully. Too often we are taught to suppress or ignore our emotions, labeling them as distractions or weaknesses. However, emotions are neither good nor bad, they simply are. They are signals from our inner self, communicating something important about our experiences, desires, and needs. Suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear. It merely forces them to manifest in less constructive ways. By allowing ourselves to feel, we begin to understand the root of our emotions, giving us the power to channel them effectively. Once we acknowledge and accept our emotions, the next step is to decode their messages. Every emotion carries information. Anger, for instance, often points to boundaries that have been crossed, or injustices that need addressing. Sadness may signal a loss, prompting reflection and healing. Joy is a reminder of what fulfills us, while fear highlights areas where we need to build courage. By analyzing what our emotions are telling us, we can align our actions with our values and goals, using the energy behind these feelings to fuel purposeful change. Transforming emotions into energy also requires shifting perspective. Emotions like anger, fear, or frustration are often seen as negative, but they contain incredible energy when channeled correctly. Anger, for example, can ignite a fire within us to fight for justice, overcome obstacles, or stand up for ourselves. Fear, when reframed, can push us to prepare, grow, and step outside our comfort zone. These emotions are not roadblocks, they are raw power waiting to be directed. The key lies in shifting from reaction to intention, moving from being controlled by our emotions to using them as a driving force. Harnessing emotion as energy also requires self-regulation and discipline. While emotions are a source of power, they can become destructive if left unchecked. Learning to regulate emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means developing the awareness and tools to respond rather than react. Practices like mindfulness, deep breathing, and journaling help us pause, process, and understand our emotions before taking action. This self-awareness enables us to channel emotional energy into constructive pursuits, whether it's solving a problem, building relationships, or pursuing a goal. A critical part of harnessing emotional energy is connecting it to purpose. When our emotions align with our deeper values and aspirations, they become a limitless source of motivation. For example, passion can inspire creativity and innovation, while empathy can fuel acts of service and connection. By tying our emotional energy to something greater than ourselves, we not only amplify its power, but also ensure it drives us toward meaningful outcomes. It's also important to recognize the role of emotional balance in sustaining energy. Just as a pendulum swings back and forth, so do our emotions. High-intensity feelings like excitement or determination can propel us forward, but they need to be balanced with periods of calm and reflection. Emotional energy, like any resource, requires renewal. Taking time to rest, recharge, and nurture our emotional well-being ensures that we can continue to harness our emotions effectively over the long term. Additionally, sharing emotions with others can amplify their power. Emotions are contagious, and when channeled positively, they can inspire and energize those around us. A shared sense of purpose, fueled by collective emotion, can create movements, build communities, and achieve extraordinary results. Whether it's rallying a team with enthusiasm or comforting a friend with empathy, the energy of emotion becomes magnified when it connects us to others. Finally, harnessing emotion as energy is about transformation. It's about taking the raw, unfiltered experiences of life and using them to build, create, and grow. Each emotion, no matter how painful or intense, carries the potential to shape us into stronger, wiser, and more resilient individuals. The energy of grief can inspire healing and compassion. The energy of longing can fuel ambition and creativity. By embracing this process, we turn life's emotional highs and lows into stepping stones toward our fullest potential. Harnessing emotion as energy is not about avoiding or controlling feelings, but about embracing and channeling them. It's about recognizing the immense power that emotions hold and learning to direct that power toward our growth, goals, and connections with others. When we learn to ride the waves of emotion rather than resist or drown in them, we unlock a source of limitless energy that propels us forward in every area of life. This transformation begins not with resistance, but with acceptance, the realization that our emotions are not our enemies, but our allies, guiding us toward the life we are meant to live. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. Many see it as a weakness, an exposure that leaves us open to harm or judgment. We armor ourselves, building walls to protect the fragile parts of who we are. Yet in doing so, we also block out the very things that make us whole: connection, growth, and authenticity. True strength does not come from the avoidance of vulnerability, but from embracing it. When we lean into our vulnerabilities, we discover an inner resilience that empowers us to face life with courage, openness, and a deeper sense of purpose. To discover strength in vulnerability, we must first challenge the societal belief that vulnerability is synonymous with fragility. Vulnerability is not about being helpless or broken. It's about being real. It's the willingness to show up as our authentic selves, even when it feels uncomfortable or risky. This authenticity requires immense bravery because it means allowing others to see us as we truly are, imperfections and all. But in this raw honesty lies the foundation of strength, a strength that stems from the confidence to be unapologetically human. And even as I give you that unapologetic test and express in your life, I assure you, your results can relate to mine. One of the most powerful aspects of vulnerability is its ability to foster connection. When we open up, we invite others into our lives in a way that is genuine and meaningful. Relationships deepen when we move beyond surface-level interactions and allow ourselves to be seen. Vulnerability creates a bridge between people, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles or fears. In these moments of shared humanity, we find support and empathy, which strengthen not only our relationships, but also our capacity to endure life's challenges. Vulnerability also acts as a catalyst for growth. It pushes us out of our comfort zones, requiring us to confront fears and uncertainties. Growth rarely happens in spaces of safety and routine. It occurs when we step into the unknown and take risks. Whether it's pursuing a new career, expressing our true feelings, or daring to fail, vulnerability drives us to take action despite the possibility of rejection or failure. It teaches us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. Furthermore, embracing vulnerability helps us develop resilience. Life is filled with setbacks, disappointments, and hardships, and it is through these experiences that we often grow the most. Vulnerability allows us to face these challenges head-on rather than avoiding or suppressing them. By acknowledging our emotions and processing them, we build emotional strength and adaptability. Each time we confront vulnerability, we prove to ourselves that we can endure, learn, and emerge stronger on the other side. One of the most surprising gifts of vulnerability is its ability to transform shame into empowerment. Shame thrives in secrecy and silence, feeding on the belief that we are not enough. When we dare to share our stories, our failures, insecurities, and fears, we take away shame's power. In the light of openness, we realize that our struggles do not define us. They are simply part of our journey. This shift from hiding to owning our experiences is profoundly liberating. It reminds us that our worth is not determined by our perceived flaws, but by our willingness to embrace our humanity. Another way vulnerability reveals strength is by cultivating self-awareness. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we gain a clearer understanding of who we are, our values, desires, and boundaries. This self-awareness empowers us to make choices that align with our authentic selves rather than conforming to external expectations. It gives us the confidence to say no when necessary, to pursue what truly matters, and to prioritize our well-being. At its core, vulnerability is a practice of trust, trusting ourselves, others, and life itself. It requires us to release the illusion of control and accept that uncertainty is a natural part of existence. While this can feel unsettling, it is also deeply freeing. Vulnerability teaches us to let go of perfectionism and embrace the messiness of being human. In doing so, we discover a sense of inner peace and strength that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. To fully embrace vulnerability, we must also cultivate self-compassion. Being vulnerable means accepting that we will sometimes stumble, fail, or fall short. Instead of criticizing ourselves, we must treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Self-compassion creates a safe space within us, where we can explore our vulnerabilities without fear of judgment. This inner support system strengthens our ability to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. Finally, discovering strength and vulnerability is about reclaiming our power. It is not about handing over control to others or allowing ourselves to be taken advantage of. Instead, it's about owning our stories, setting boundaries, and standing in our truth. When we embrace vulnerability, we reclaim the parts of ourselves that we may have hidden or denied, stepping fully into our power as individuals. This is a place where you internalize humility, power, and positivity, where we decide to be the better version of ourselves. In the end, vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is the foundation of strength. It is the willingness to embrace life in its entirety, the joy and the pain, the certainty and the unknown. When we stop running from vulnerability and start leaning into it, we unlock a profound inner strength that enables us to live authentically, connect deeply, and face life with courage. Through vulnerability, we discover not only who we are, but also the boundless strength that resides within us.